Session 4. It starts with the danger of early pride. We've talked a lot about this as a group. People who get some success early on, and then they let it lull them into this facade of, oh, I'm just successful because it's who I am. Not I'm successful because I did the work, but it's just like something innate inside of me, right? Usually when people are successful, sure, they might have some skills, but usually they did a lot of hard work and they got a couple lucky breaks too. Things fell their way, When you're too good too fast, or when you get a lucky break too fast, you tend to think, oh, I'm just this kind of person. I don't have to work hard in the future. And that's a surefire way to not keep what you have, right? So a little bit of struggle is good, right? It keeps us humble. Like we talked about in the last session. I love this saying right here. Don't cook the sauce before catching the fish. I love that one. We can discuss that. There's another cool one that's actually in the study guide. We'll go to the next section. Work, work, work. Listen, I think most people underestimate how much work there is in between them and their grand idea and the actual fruition of that idea, of the success that comes with it. I think whatever it is you're planning right now, take the amount of work you think it is and double it, And it's those people who are humble enough to sit down and do the work over and over and over and over and over and over that really see their dreams come true. Something else I love here. Let me find it. There is no triumph without toil. That's another saying I might put on the board there. Basically, you can be as good as you want, but if you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to have any of these things that you're planning to. Now, I talked about this in the study guide, but I love when he says this. Every time you sit down to work, remind yourself, I am delaying gratification by doing this. I am passing the marshmallow test. Those of you who don't know what the marshmallow test is, they took a bunch of kids and they put a marshmallow on the table in front of them. And they told the kid, I'm going to leave the room. And you can eat that marshmallow if you want. But if you don't eat it, when I come back, you can have 2 marshmallows. They tracked those kids through life. The kids who ate the marshmallow weren't as quote unquote successful, ended up in higher paying jobs, stuff like that, however they measured it. The kids who actually waited and got the 2 marshmallows, they experienced a higher level of success in their life. And I think that's a really cool story. You guys can look it up on your own. One last thing I want to point out. There can be this gap. So for any of us where something's really important to us, we're usually a connoisseur of that, right? So like, let's say you are a comic book writer. You know what a really good comic book is. But when you first start writing, your comics aren't as good as what you really enjoy. So you can get discouraged. Stick with it long enough to do enough work to where the stuff you're creating passes your test for what a good comic book is. Like I'm sure Michelangelo, before the painter, not the turtle, before he painted the Sistine Chapel, he knew what a great painting was. But right when he first started, I'm sure his skill wasn't there. So you have to be able to stick with that. When things aren't easy, when they're tough, you have to be able to keep going. That's where humility comes in. If you had an ego, you'd say, I'm not going to publish any of this to the world because I don't want people to know that I'm not good. You have to be willing to not be good in order to become great. Thank you, guys.